Reading from Mark chapter 12. I'm going to read from verse 29. What happened before was Messiah was speaking to the people in parables, and one of the scribes came to him and asked him which was the first commandment, which is the first commandment of all. Verse 29. This is a teaching for women, particularly women in the Torah movement. And Yeshua answered him, "The first of all the commandments is, 'Hear, O Israel, the Lord our Jehovah is one Lord.'" Israel, here, he is not referring to the place. Israel are the 12 tribes. 2 returned, 10 are scattered throughout. And thou shalt love, verse 30, and thou shalt love Jehovah thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, thou shalt love thy neighbour as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. None other greater than these. Verse 32. And the scribe said unto him, "Well, Master, thou hast said the truth, for there is one God, and there is none other but he." Trinity buster right there. One God. Messiah is not God. Messiah's name is Yeshua. It's not Jebus. And to love him with all the heart, and with all the understanding, and with all the soul, and with all the strength, and to love his neighbour as himself is more than all burnt offerings and sacrifices. And when Yeshua saw that he had answered, and when Yeshua saw that he answered discreetly, he said unto him, "Thou art not far from the kingdom of Yah." And no man after that durst ask him any questions. So this fully here is the gospel. So women in Torah, what is the gospel to you? You keep yourself under the sacrificial law. Yet here, we are told that there are no other commandments greater than these, and all the other commands hang on them. So that is the 10 commandments. That is the covenant. Messiah came, it tells us in Isaiah 42 verse 21, he came to magnify the law and make it honourable. No more stoning. And under the sacrificial law, you sin. For some of the sins, you were to be stoned. Now this scribe here, whom Messiah said that he had understanding, and that he was near to the kingdom because of his understanding. Remember, he did not have the New Testament. He is quoting the Old Testament. He is quoting Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5, which is about loving God, keeping his commandments, keeping the covenant that was agreed at Horeb, not Sinai. And Leviticus, he was also quoting Leviticus 19, verse 18, loving your neighbour as yourself. That's the gospel. He also quoted Hosea chapter 6, verse 6. I desire mercy, not sacrifice. What is mercy? Mercy is the 10 commandments. Mercy is you going out looking for the lost sheep of the house of Israel and showing them mercy. Loving them enough to tell them that they are going to perish unless they get in covenant. Now you women in Torah puff yourself up and think you're doing great because you're You're already eating clean and you're pointing the finger at all the people keeping Christmas and, oh, you came out of that, you knew that. Yeah, I did that. He revealed through his Spirit of grace to you that that was error. And you went all the way from the left over to the right and put yourself under sacrificial law. And you're not fulfilling the law. You're not loving your neighbour as yourself. You're not looking out for others. You're loving only yourself. In fact, today, I was listening to a beautiful young man who had listened to the Spirit of grace which came upon him. And he started to study things out. He humbled his heart. He humbled himself, and Yah taught him. And he's now keeping the 10 Commandments. And someone in Torah was coming against him, saying he was speaking falsely. He wasn't like this scribe here. He was puffing himself up with Paleo Hebrew, probably walked about with tzitzits, single linen, single fibre fabrics, but certainly not looking for the lost sheep of the house of Israel, which this young man was doing. Praise Yah. Praise Yah. Read Mark chapter 12, starting at verse 28. Where did I read down to? Verse 34. Follow it up, line upon line, as it tells you in Isaiah. Remember, in Isaiah 28, it tells us how to read the Bible. And there are 2 different groups of people reading the Bible. It's people like this scribe and that young man that I mentioned. And those who are heading to destruction because they hear not the words of Yah. Check out Deuteronomy chapter 6. Deuteronomy chapter 6, yeah, I read Deuteronomy, I didn't read it. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Hosea chapter 6, he loves mercy, not sacrifice. And Leviticus 19, verse 18.